Easter and happy spring! Tonight's video we're going to be making a spring card using the Easter basket photopolymer stamp set and dies. You might notice that the card is an Easter card. I intended on publishing that about 4 weeks ago, and then I had some problems with my back. So we're going to change it into a spring card, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. Hi, I'm Joan and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you're new here, I want to thank you for stopping by. If you're a returning guest, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. That way you won't miss when I post a video, which is typically once a week. Now give me a few seconds to turn the camera down and we'll get started. Here's that card we're going to be making today. I cased this right out of the catalog, but today we're going to change it up. We're going to add a piece of vellum and we'll put it right behind this basket here. Then I think we can get rid of this white piece. We'll have to wait and see what it looks like. And I want to show you the Easter card I made from the same set from the Easter Joy suite. This one I used the Balmy Blue cardstock, and then we used a piece of the designer series paper. And here's a piece of white cardstock, and then another piece of designer series paper, all from that same collection. And then for the bunny, I fussy cut the body so that we could get the arms poking out on the basket there. I've got a carrot over here and an Easter egg right there. We're going to go ahead and get started, and we will start with that piece of vellum I told you about. We want to cut this at 3 inches by 4.5 inches. And I'm going to cut it down at this edge down here so that I can use this one that says glitter on it, because this vellum is going to dull the blade. So I'm going to cut it down here. And this trimmer will allow me to do that because we've got the metric system up here and then the imperial system. We got it here in the middle and at the bottom as well. And we're going to just bring this in and do 3 inches. I'll line it up on the bottom. Then we're going to go that 4.5 inches. So I've got it lined up on the bottom at 4.5. I know you can't see that. I'm going to try and bring it up here just a little bit. And here's my 4.5 right here. I'm going to cut it this way. All right. Now let's see if that's what we wanted. Yes, I believe that's the size we wanted. Our trimmer has 2 blades on here. This one's for a scoring blade, and this one is the trimming blade. And then I had this third blade that has glitter on it, and that's the one that we use to cut the vellum so that it doesn't dull that cutting blade. And we're going to use these dies here today. And we're going to use the Hello Spring and For You from this stamp set, and this from this stamp set. And let's bring our paper. We're going to start with our white paper, Basic White, and that's cut at 4 inches by 5.25 inches, or 10.2 centimeters by 13.3 centimeters. And we want to stamp this using our Balmy Blue. And we're going to have it say, Hello Spring. So when I was a kid, we used to go and do May baskets on the May 1st and put them on our neighbor's yard, ring the doorbell, and run away. This is what I'm making this card for. I'm going to send it to my aunt and uncle that lives in Florida. And I won't sign it, but they'll probably figure it out anyways. And then we're going to go ahead and bring on our cardstock, Balmy Blue cardstock, and I already have it scored at 4.25 inches, and that would be 10.8 centimeters. And this is cut at 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, or 14 centimeters by 21.6 centimeters. We're just going to burnish this. I like to burnish it on both sides to give a nice crisp edge. And then we're going to glue this on the inside. Oop, I got one more thing I want to do. I want to stamp those flowers from in here. Right here. So we're going to use our Memento ink in the Tuxedo Black for that. And I'm moving it around to make sure that I'm not getting any divots in there. So it looks like I got it covered. I'll put it down here. We're going to go in and bring our Stampin' scrub, clean our stamps off. This is the side that I want to spray because there's a raindrop up there, so this is going to be wet, and this is the dry side because there's a sunbeam. And I have to spray this right now because I don't have anything on there. Okay. I'm going to close this up so I don't get ink all over everything. Next, we want to finish this off. We're going to use the Daffodil Delight to fill in our center of the flower. And then we're going to use our light shaded spruce and do the little leaves down here. Okay, now we can put some glue on the back of this, and let me bring in our silicone mat. That'll help keep our work surface clean. And I'll bring in our glue. This is our multi-purpose glue made by Tombow. You can find this in our catalog. I have it inside this glue gun, but the glue gun isn't from Stampin' Up. This is from My Sweet Petunia, but it allows me to glue a lot easier than squeezing this bottle. But this glue holds really well, so I don't have to put a lot on there. And we're going to open it up and get it in here. We'll leave 1/8 of an inch for a border on all 4 sides. Alright, I'm just going to use my bone folder just to get any air bubbles out. There. Then we're going to put this on the front of the card, and before we do that, we want to add our ribbon. So I've got a piece of ribbon. This is about 20 inches that I cut. You want somewhere between 20 and 30 inches so that it's a lot easier to put the ribbon on, and you can trim those little ends off. So we're going to put it right about there. And then we'll tie a knot. I'm just going to use my little tweezers for holding the paper when we're using our heat gun. And I'm just going to pinch this. And then we'll finish our bow. And then squeeze this. That looks about right. And I'm going to take a piece of tape and put it on the back here. Just a piece of Scotch tape. Oh, that was the very end of it. And I'm just going to tape it down. And this paper, this designer series paper, is from the $5 rewards in January. It's from the True Blue Florals 12 by 12 inch paper. You can't get it anymore, but if you have that, you can use that, or you can use a designer series paper that comes with the Easter Joys. There's a lot of different patterns that will work really well with this. And then we're going to glue this down. And then we'll put this on here, matching all the edges here. It's the same size as the front of the card base. And that's going to be 4 1/4 inches right there by 5 1/2 inches. And in metrics, that would be 10.8 centimeters by 14 centimeters. I'm just going to get any glue bubbles out, any air bubbles out. So there. Then next we want to put in is our basket. We're going to need our basket, our ribbons for the basket, and our flowers and our bow. We're going to use our large cut and emboss so I can almost get everything all done at the same time. We need this pattern here, the number 1 pattern. We're going to use the number 1 plate, then the number 2 plate right here, 2 number 3s. And this is a number 3, trust me, it's just been well used. Can't see the number anymore. And then we need our paper, so this one's for the basket. Here's our basket. No need to tape that one down. Our ribbon, our bow. Oh, sorry, you cannot see this. So we've got our basket, our ribbon, and our bow. This is one of the flower stems. This is the flower. We'll come back with this and get one of these done later because it's cut out out of the same piece here. And then we need to get our die for that. Well, I'm having trouble finding it, so we're going to use this one from the perennial postage dies. And then we put the second number 3 on there, and then we start cranking. Okay, I'm just going to lift all of these off from here, and we'll come back and get them out of the piece. Then we have that yellow flower we got to do yet. So this one we just need to have the flower part up here. Normally I have a clear plate for the top, but this one's all etched up as well, so I'm not really sure where the original clear plate went, but it worked. If we were doing some foil, we wouldn't want that. But since we weren't doing any foil, we're okay with that. I'm going to take this. I think we're done with this. And we'll just pop these out. I really only need 3, so I'm going to pop out 3 for right now. And we'll come back later and finish cleaning this out. So when we do the basket, see, this is that was from the stamp plate. I said I wanted a clear one, but I was able to get that off from there, so that was fine. So what you want to do is you want to take these and we want to make it every other one. So this is on the outer edge and this one's on the outer edge and this would be in the inner edge. So I'm going to take 2 of them and weave them through together, and then we'll
move them later to the right position. That makes it easy when there's two here. When I do this second one, it's a little bit harder. So now we just position them down here. That one's for the bottom of the basket. This one's for the top part of the basket. And then we've got this one that'll be in the middle. And so we want to push this one down and have this come over the top there. And then we want to raise this one, and so it goes under every other one. And then all you need to do is clip the edges off. And I've got our snips here, and I'm just going to round this a little bit here because it's on the bottom of the basket. And those are just going at an angle there. And then this one, the angle cut, and a little bit rounding there. Trying to get these pieces thrown away. Okay, then I would like to come in with our glue and just touch those edges here so that it doesn't slip later on. And we'll do the same thing back here. There. So that basket is ready. Then we've got our flower we need to put together. And I've got two other flowers I've already done. And I've got a couple other baskets in here too, just in case we ran into problems. Here's one that we did already. Here's one we did already. And I am going to switch, because this one is, I tore a little bit, so I'm going to just switch that out. I think that's all we need. So we're going to bring this in and this in. And then we're going to bring in our lemon lolly, and we're going to take it and just do the tips of this flower right here, these flower petals. Just changes the color ever so slightly. Then we're going to do the same thing here on the whole thing, because we're going to put some orange on there, and I want to make sure that I can, if I need to, I can dull it by putting that on there and lifting it off. Okay, then we're going to use our peach pie, and we're just going to take a little bit from here. And I need to bring in our paper here. See, that's already faded, didn't it? And we're just going to, we'll go off the mat first and then come on to the bottom. And I want to just go up toward the top yet, but I don't want it to be very bold in color. I think that works really well. Then we're going to add glue. We can close this up. I want to be this a little bit that way. Then we're going to put some glue on this. And I'm just going to get most of this color off from here. That looks pretty good. Yep. Oop. We've got this yet. And these. And what I want to do is see if this is going to work without putting the white back underneath there. got a second piece of vellum too. See if you double up if that helps. I think we can double up and that will work. And wait on that. So we'll glue this to the vellum and then we'll tape the vellum in place. So let's have this right here. And this is what this gun works best with. All these little details. Barely squeezing. And that glue is coming out just right. And I'm going to put this right about here. So that's close to center. And we'll put this one on this right side. I should be on my glue mat, not on this paper. I'm still on the paper, but I wanted to make sure you could see what I was doing. And then we're going to have it come up this side. And then this one. Let's see if I can't do it this way. I can put it back on here now rather than on the paper. I already have that centered, so I don't need to know where that is anymore. And we'll put that right about there. Then we want to glue that inside here. So I'm going to glue these right here. I had it wrong way. I need to have those come out to the top. There we go. Now we're going to put glue on the back of this, everywhere the flower is. Just making sure I got a lot of glue where the flower is and the stems. Okay. And then that's going to go on here. We want it to be tipped sideways. Then we're going to put glue where the basket is. We don't want any glue on the vellum or it will show through. And where the flowers are. And then that goes on here. We want to leave about 1/2 inch for a border on all 4 sides. Just make sure that it's down where the basket is. And I'm going to bring in and use my bone folder on the inside. Then we've got this to go right there. And we'll put our last sentiment on here. And we're going to use the Balmy Blue. And we'll move this around. And we can glue that right there. I glued it that way. That way I can maybe adjust it a little bit. I want it to come out more like that. Still want to say for you. There, that looks good. Then we can put glue on the back side. And actually we're going to use a glue dot. Oh, that's not my glue dots. Right here they are. Put one right there. And we're going to put one on the for you as well. we'll put it right there. And I need to clean my stamp here. I think we are done. Now, don't those look cute? I hope you liked this project as much as I did, and can you see how easy it was to change it from an Easter card to a spring card? Why don't you give it a try? Now, if you've enjoyed today's video, would you do me 2 favors? Click the thumbs up emoji, which means you like it, and would you share it on social media with your crafting friends and pin it to Pinterest? These actions will help me to keep sharing my ideas with other crafters for free, and I'd really appreciate that. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any future videos. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order or like a catalog, hop over to my website where you'll find the Shop Now button. To shop with me, you need to go to joanheberlein.stampinup.net. Mark your calendars. I'll be back next Sunday, April 12th at 7 p.m. Central Time, and we'll be doing something from the new mini catalog, and I hope you'll be here to join me. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight. I look forward to next time. Bye for now. And don't forget to subscribe.